Hello. It may seem like a truly obvious thing to state, but being able to understand and demonstrate strong communication skills will be the key difference between the success or failure of the member of staff you're seeking to develop. But what are some of the key communication skills that we require to develop and to demonstrate? Firstly, simplify and stay on message. Use simple, straightforward language. Be clear that you're working towards the goal that you're both engaged in. Quite often, we need to make sure that the targets in which we're assessing for them, the main points of development or strength, are crystal clear, because that can sometimes be lost. Engage. So draw the person you're working with in. You need to sound as if you truly care, and I'm sure you do. But if we're able then to solicit feedback from them, make it seem that we're really pleased and excited, because as we've seen from a previous video in this course, if it's very obvious to us and very obvious to them that they seem to be taking your time in a negative fashion, that is going to negatively impact the relationship you have as you try to develop that member of staff. Also, take your time to respond. Whether this is via email or via conversation, after you've listened and read and understood, take time to draft in your head or when you're writing something what you want to say, in particular when it's of a key sensitive issue. So it's not just about being clear, it's about making sure that the messages you're delivering are understood in the right way. So this is why we require feedback. We require some kind of response from the person we're looking to develop to ensure that they have exactly answered what we're asking. So quite often, an email may not always be the best way to convey a key message to that individual. Develop your listening skills is obviously going to be very, very important. The best communicators are almost always the best listeners. We need to make sure in this role that we listen without judgment and don't get distracted, but think about what you want to say next. We then need to make sure that we respond in the right way in order to make sure that our response matches what we've been listening to. With this in mind, consider the use of back-channeling. This relates to the notion of making noises to suggest that you're listening, as we need to make sure at certain points to prove that we're listening. Use such phrases as to be clear, to make sure I've got this right, so moving forward you have suggested, in order to not only demonstrate you're focused on what they have said, but so you can also ensure their perspective of a point is clear to you to help in any discussion. Body language is going to be really important. 65% of all communication, at least, is nonverbal, so watch for visual signals that your listener understands, agrees or disagrees with your message, and be aware of what their body is suggesting to you. For example, when we're delivering feedback on, for instance, a lesson observation or feedback on assessment, make sure you're watching the way in which they're receiving that feedback, and if they appear to react in a negative fashion, you may wish to tailor your message. Of course, we need to be clear on the key elements of development and strengths, but we need to make sure we tailor it in response to how they are reacting. Maintaining eye contact is obviously important also. Whether speaking to a group of people all at once or one, maintaining eye contact does build credibility and demonstrates you care about the listener. And there's nothing worse than talking to somebody and it looks as if they're not really paying attention. That makes you feel undervalued. And obviously, in a school where there can be difficult days, feeling undervalued by the people you perceive to be there to support you is probably going to quicken their walk towards the exit. Tone of voice again links to this, so it's not just about what we say, but how we say it. If we're trying to deliver positive news but sound negative, that can muddy the message that we're looking to express. Recognize that your message isn't just about you or what you want. You should sincerely care about the needs of the person you're looking to develop. And if you have that in mind, that'll impact on the way in which you deliver and listen and act on any of the communication that you're given or you give yourself. So some key skills we need to make sure we are very much aware of. We are strong for the most part as a teacher when it comes to our ability to communicate. We need to make sure that when we're working with adults, the skills that we're looking to develop are just the same as when we're working with our students. Thank you.